key things that a person looks for is some level of consulting and some level of mentoring. And angel investing is a great platform where the startup founders can get mentored. I normally try to get into education, skill development, personal development, HR development, and things related to organization development. Those areas is what I personally look at. That's my bias. The small investments into startup is something which is very powerful, like micro investments, which one can.
Welcome back to Startup Lanes. I am Sonal Pathak, Investment Banking Associate at Startup Lanes. And today, we are so thrilled and so excited to have a conversation with Mr. Deepak Verma, who is a seasoned angel investor and has been investing in different startups. So, without any further delay, let's welcome this brilliant personality on our platform. Hello, sir. Very good morning, and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Sonal.
So, sir, would you please like to tell more about yourself to our audience?
So, I worked in the corporate for many years, worked in companies like Hewlett Packard, Wipro, Intel, Fortune 500 companies. In the last 8 years, I've been running multiple businesses and also investing in a few businesses, primarily in the area of learning and development and education. So these are the two primary companies that I have, Technospirit Consultancy and Speakology. And this is what I've been kind of promoting in the last few years. I'm based in Hyderabad and keenly looking forward to tie up with Startup Lane.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Startup Lanes also look forward to this collaboration. So, what actually inspired you to become an angel investor?
So, being a businessman myself, one of the key things that a person looks for is some level of consulting and some level of mentoring. And angel investing is a great platform where the startup founders can get mentored in the right way, and such that there is a win-win, a mutual collaboration, a mutual win between both the investor and the founder, where there is a success of the venture and hence there are returns. So this entire ecosystem of investing I've been analyzing for the last many years, and that's how I slowly started getting into it.
Sir, what are the key parameters that you look into a startup when you consider about investing?
So the key thing we look for is one is the founder and or the founders and their commitment into the entire startup. Not really possibly the qualification, but more important, their commitment to the entire game. So that's the first and foremost thing that we look into. Then after that is followed the business model. How effective can it be in the current scenario? In what the markets are they operating in? And third we look at is what has been the customer experience in those particular areas that they are in. What is the kind of competition? What is the uniqueness that they're bringing to the table? So a few areas, that is the founders. The founder is the most important. And then, of course, the business model. How strong is the model and what the kind of areas, avenues of getting revenue. Third is, of course, the kind or the level of competition, the uniqueness in their offerings that they're having from a long-term perspective. So these are the few things, that we initially look at before evaluating a startup.
That was really great, hope all the aspiring angel investors are looking very keenly towards. Sir, what is your investing philosophy? Can you put it into words for us?
Right. So the philosophy actually I have is long term. Okay, if you have to put in just one or two words, and especially in the startup ecosystem, we shouldn't really look short term. The second philosophy I have is partnership and not just investing. So once you invest, you really kind of are involved in the company and try to ensure that they succeed. So I would say this twin thing of long-termship and partnering. That's the two philosophies that I personally look at. When I get into investing.
So how do you involve yourself with the startups that you invest into?
So I get into details. While I don't get into any micromanagement, but I try to get into details as to where are they stuck. Is there any help they need, which they can use from my contacts here? Any direction that they're looking at, in terms of marketing, sales, or product development, etc. anything that I can do to help and be of assistance to ensure that all the bottlenecks are kind of taken off. So these are the few things I kind of involve myself in, because I really don't believe in the kind of investing and coming off. You should really be involved and try to see that together they succeed.
So what mistakes you think the investment, the startup founders, they commit the mistakes when they are seeking investment?
So one of the key mistakes I would say they make, or something that I personally look at, is not having the sense of commitment and not having a clear business plan. So the business plan in terms of the long-term achievement and not having a sense of commitment, these are the first initial things that one can sense in any startup, whether it is there or not there. And then beyond that is the uniqueness of the offering. Is there something unique, or is just something off the cuff? So what is the unique, which is something different from what the market is offering? These are two things. If it's not there, there's small mistakes that sometimes people make in terms of copycatting, or copying a particular product, or not having a sense of commitment. So if these two things are kind of resolved, then it goes to the next phase.
Is there any particular advice that you would want to give to the startup founders who are seeking to raise funds? Any particular advice from your side?
Yes. So the only advice I would really want to give is to have as many testimonials, customer experience, and customer success. Because that is one thing which I've realized. I've seen not just myself, even other investors. They always that's the kind of the turning point. Even if the business model is not understood, even if the product is not understood, but if there are very clear customer experiences and customer testimonials, somehow things tilt in their favor. So that's the key thing that I would really like to mention, that have as many testimonials or as many experiences before you venture into trying to get investment.
So is there any particular sector that attracts you more, or you're open to invest into any sector?
So I have a bias, being a leadership coach and a trainer myself. I normally tend to get, and that's my personal bias, I normally tend to get into education, skill development, personal development, HR development, and things related to organization development. Those areas is what I personally look at. That's my bias, and that's really my fault if you ask me, because I understand the industry well. So I find it very easy to get into this kind of industry. That's my personal foray, if you ask me.
So how many startup investments have you already done, and how many of those were from the network of startup lanes?
Okay, so through startup lanes, I've not done any as yet. I've invested in two startups, and so one of them was a sweat equity, where I invested, getting equity into a startup, and the other one was an actual investment. So in both the cases, I have tried to mentor and ensure that the startup kind of takes off in some way or the other.
So what is your exit strategy from your investments?
So I look at a 3 to 5 year plan for an exit strategy, and I always try to see that within 3 to 5 years, if the company can either be taken over, or it can be bought out, etc. I mean, that is a clear exit plan, which I also have in writing, during the terms and conditions, etc. So that's the tenure I look at.
How do you see the startup ecosystem evolving in the future in India?
Big. So the ecosystem in India is it's really booming. Manufacturing has been at its peak, as well as various other industries, consulting, and various in all the industries, I would say is really at its peak right now. It's a very strong foundation that we have in terms of any levels of manufacturing or any levels of technology, be it AI or be it machine learning, or it could be solar. The range is quite high. So the promise is really high, because we are one of the largest populations in the world. So the level of talent that is coming out from various colleges and various institutions are extremely high. and with the right kind of maturity, right kind of experience, founders that come in, that combination makes it even more better. So the ecosystem is really building up quite well, especially with the investment platforms coming in, the various forums that are happening, the whole cycle of from the startup founder to even getting the finances to the market capitals and at various places is increasing quite a bit. And don't want to be really political, but a lot of visits that the PM is doing currently is also leading to a lot of startup capital that's happening. Recent visit to France, I believe, increased the number of startups tie-ups that happened across. So that ecosystem is also building up through various positive moves by the government. That's really promising.
So, what kind of challenges have you faced, throughout your journey of angel investing?
So the main challenge, of course, I've faced is with the business plan and the founder and the commitment of the founder itself. So the entire journey of angel investing is to identify the right person at the right place at the right time. Is it really working out? Because a lot of times the founder may be committed and the business may be also extremely viable, but the timing may not be right. So this combination of the right person, the right place, and the right time. This is the biggest challenge which any investor faces. And if we get all these three together, then then that works miracles. But it's like searching for a needle in the haystack. So getting it the right, picking the right thing is always a challenge.
So, what piece of advice would you like to give to the budding angel investors of India who are watching this broadcast? Is there any particular advice that you would like to give them, which can help them into value investing?
Got it. I would actually suggest to any budding investor to evaluate or to possibly listen to various founders, what they are looking for, what have they done, and try to see the commitment levels, the background of the founders, how well are they committed to it. Second is also to evaluate the business that is being mentioned. If you can understand the business, it's better. So it's always good for budding investors to invest in something which is of their own personal experience. So if they are in IT, they should invest in something related to IT. If they are in manufacturing, they should invest in something related to manufacturing, because they'll at least understand whether this particular business will be sustainable from their own experience. So that's the initial advice I would like to give to the new investors.
Okay. So basically, try to invest into something that you already are very aware of. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So, what is your feedback about Startup Plains?
It's very good. In fact, I've been following it for the last couple of years, I would say, and into multiple LinkedIn and few WhatsApp groups also I have. And it's beautiful that now, and I think this is going to continue for the next 20-25 years. The small investments into startups is something which is very powerful, like micro investments which one can do and pick up a small share of a company is something which was unheard of 8 or 10 years ago. Because unless you had, so investment meant if you should have 1 crore or 2 crores etc. in to kind of invest in a company. But now I think even 5 lakhs or 10 is enough to get into a short into investment with some equity, etc. And Startup Plains actually is, I think, doing quite a good job in trying to ensure that they have this small investments and possibility of anybody can invest. Like they said earlier, like everyone can fly. When that airline came in, so now I think Startup Plains can have a tagline that anybody can invest. You don't need to be a multi-millionaire.
Definitely.
A normal employee, earning a couple of lakhs also can kind of invest. That's Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all those kind words about Startup Plains. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And that's all from our side, sir. And we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and talking to us. And I really hope that we really appreciate all your beautiful, brilliant thoughts on different aspects of investing, as well as the advice that you give to the budding investors. I hope it really helps them into value investing. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sonal. Thank you. Bye bye.